If you feel like you've tried it all and you are still turning to food when you're stressed and you are still binge eating, the thing is, if you've been trying to do the positive thinking or limiting those trigger foods from your home and you are still struggling, you have to listen to this episode. This is truly the first step that I help with all my clients to help them really create a solid foundation before we start working on their mindsets. So, still to the end to know exactly the right tips for you to take home today to start creating a life from stop binging and to start living. Welcome to Stop Binging and Start Living. And from the title, this is exactly what I'm going to be helping you through this series in this podcast, through nourishment, movement, and mindset. Because when you understand where these habits are coming from and how to actually create a change, a positive change for the long term, you can start living your life today by creating a life free from binge eating. So I am so excited to have you here, and let's dive into today's episode. If you tuned into my last episode, or maybe you're just tuning in right now, I want you to keep in mind that there are 3 reasons why you're probably still struggling with binge eating or stress eating or emotional eating. Remember, there's physical reasons, there's emotional reasons, and as well there's social reasons. However, very often we try to do whatever we can, like throwing pasta on the wall and hoping something is going to stick. However, it does not work that way. Depending where you are and depending what you're struggling with, there's actually a process to actually go through to help you stop binging and start living. However, with most of the clients that I worked with, and as well, whenever I talk about binge eating, I talk about the thing that is the most important part of the starting foundation. And this is going to be key that we're going to be talking about in today's episodes and as well in future episodes. But I really want you to listen to this one here today because you might have been trying the positive thinking or affirmations or taking out all the trigger foods from home. However, this does not actually take care of the first true step that I believe that helps people end their battle with food. And here's the thing. The biggest trigger, the biggest cause, and research has shown it, is if you go through a physical state of starvation, if you are dieting on and off, if you have irregular eating habits, if you have restrictive eating habits, if you don't follow your hunger and your fullness signals, or maybe you don't even know what your hunger and your fullness signals are, then the struggle with binge eating will always be there because it's one of our basic human necessities. Our body needs to be fed. We need to be fed, we need to feel safe, and we need to be loved. These are the 3 basic human needs for survival. And when you are not fed, no matter what the thinking you're doing, changing your limiting beliefs, trying to like force your way out of your binge eating, getting yourself to do an activity to kind of distract yourself, when your body is starving, it's going to open up that door to eating. And what happens if you're not actually feeding your body properly? As soon as you open that little door, it feels the body's like, well, they opened the door right now. This is the best time to jumpstart my hunger signals. And it actually makes us feel like we're losing control. We're hungrier more than ever. We feel like we're a bottomless pit. And that little door that we opened up to eat pretty much was like ripped open and all the food is coming in. Now, again, there's many reasons why, in terms of biology, you might be struggling with binge eating. This is why it's always very important to talk to a health professional, talk to your doctor, your psychologist, your dietitian. But do know this. If your body is always in a starving state, if you're not giving it the nutrients and the nourishment that it needs through food, because you need to eat your way to food freedom, it's the first step. It's going to be very hard to try to think and get yourself out of that vicious cycle of a coping mechanism. And think about it. It's very hard to think on an empty stomach. It's very hard. So the process, yes, we're going to be talking about the psychological reasons behind binge eating. But if your body is starving, it really doesn't care what's happening in the brain. It just wants to eat. And this is why, on a side note, when clients are struggling with anorexia, nutritional therapy is the most important thing, not just going to psychology. We need to make sure that they're eating properly so their brain can function properly. And no matter what we're going through, binge eating, stress eating, bulimia, anorexia, exhaustion, burnout, depression, anxiety. Yes, there's a big emotional factor there. But the thing that is actually within your control in a certain way, in a nourishment and not controlling control, what is the thing that you can actually take action on today is your eating, is your food. And this is why very often when I see a lot of coaches talking about like, hypnosis, limiting beliefs, mindset, amazing work, intuitive eating, mindful eating, amazing. But when you're starving and your body is starving, and you're not eating all day and there isn't glucose, sugar to feed your brain to function, no matter what physical, emotional things you're trying to kind of get over, nothing makes sense. When you're starving, your body's going to go into survival mode, which means it's going to increase your hunger signals, decrease your fullness signals, and make you go for the fastest food that's going to help skyrocket your blood sugar the fastest. Carbs and sugar. Doesn't crave salad or lettuce. Yes, there's an image in terms of good food and bad food that we're going to talk about future episodes, the beliefs that we might have. But here's the thing, and hear me this one, it's like, if you're able to kind of get behind this and say, okay, the first step I need to do is to nourish my body. Nourish, feed it, take care of it like a baby. And this is the thing, when we are born, our body knows the hunger and the fullness signals. The body knows what it needs to eat and how much. It is like the smartest machine ever. But when we create dieting or we create, do's and don'ts, and then add in, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-confidence, failed diets, abusive relationships, we have all these things that kind of create an erosion in our life. And we feel like nothing is working. But your body still has those amazing signals waiting for you down. And the only way to wake them up by actually creating a relationship with food where we see it as a nourishment and as a necessity, like nutritional therapy, nutritional recovery, to help you rebuild that trust with your body. Because to truly stop binging and start living, it is creating a relationship with your body. Your body is not your enemy. Your body is just your friend. The way that you are with food, it shows that there's actually a deeper pain that your body is protecting you from. Nobody decides to binge eat for the fun of it. Nobody. There's a survival mechanism. There's a coping mechanism. There's a deep pain inside that made you turn to food. So your body just found a way to numb it, like self-medicating itself through food. And it kind of works because food gives it a little high. We feel full, we feel bloated. Our brain starts thinking about the guilt around the binge eating and we forget our problems in a certain way. But at a certain point, we're like, okay, this is not serving me anymore. And here's the thing, to truly help you, so this is okay, to truly help you create this kind of food freedom, to help you create that work that, yes, we're going to talk about future episodes, to help you with the mindset, with the beliefs, with the way that you see food, because that is a crucial part of the recovery, is understanding that we need to eat. We need to get your body to trust you again, because when your body is nourished, it is so calm. And when things are calm, we're actually able to see clearer of what is still there needed to work out on. Because you might be working on a certain belief or a certain habit that is not even the point of focus. It's just you don't know what else to work on. You're working on it. But we need to clear up the clutter of your body sending you all these things that it's starving. And yes, the basic rules. I know you've heard this before. Maybe you didn't. Basic rules. Dieting causes binge eating and emotional eating. It's been shown. The yo-yo dieting industry, there's one study that said 50% of dieters struggle with compulsive eating. 50%. From people that are asked. I don't know what the real number is if we really ask everybody who dieted it. And it's also been proven, whenever you skip a meal, you skip snacks. Your blood sugar is off the charts. And when your blood sugar is crashing, what do you want? Sugar. There's a reason why you're going after that food. Drink a little bit of my water with chlorophyll, a little boost of energy. And here's the thing. Now I'm coughing, of course. This is live. This is straight. Life happens and we continue. So really we want to focus on, okay, give me your homework for today. And do stay in terms of future episodes. I'm going to be giving you more tools and tips. But I really want to create the grounding work, the foundational work. Yes, I help clients, but my big thing is actually I am a teacher. I help my clients understand what is happening. Because when you understand, you make a conscious decision to create a change. You don't just blindly jump into whatever somebody's telling you. I want you to understand why we're doing what we're doing. And that creates actually better motivation, a better inner drive to actually get you to create this life of stop binging and start living. So share some comments. Remember, if you're listening to this on the podcast, I would truly appreciate, give me a comment, tell me how you found this. If you're watching this on YouTube, because yes, you can actually watch this on YouTube, leave a comment right below and tell me what are your key takeaways. And as well, remember, these episodes are really for you. We're creating some foundational work because there's really, really bad knowledge, information shared out there. But I want it to grow as a community. I want it to grow with you and your input. So do not hesitate to reach out to me, comment right below, tag me wherever you end up watching this podcast, and I'd be so happy to connect with you. So on that note, I wish you a beautiful and a balanced day. Dina Merhbi here, and I'll catch you in the next episode.